You know what I can't wait to quit? Social media. I'm like so ready to just throw my phone away. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I know it's gonna happen at some point. And everyone's gonna get mad at me and they're gonna be like, no, Rachel, on me. Or they'll be thrilled and be like,
thank God Rachel's getting off social media.
Rachel Zegler's public image has taken another brutal hit, and this time, it's Family Guy leading the charge. The actress, who once seemed destined for a fairy tale career,
I will elbow everyone out of the way to play the part,
is now facing a harsh reality where dreams of true love and stardom are overshadowed by relentless mockery. According to whispers circulating in Hollywood, the writers of Family Guy,
a real team player,
Snow White is running for president,
I'm launching my campaign,
are dismissing any backlash over their scathing parody of Disney's Snow White, where Zegler stars. Their response? A blunt declaration: we're just telling jokes. There are no apologies, no backtracking, just unapologetic laughter directed at Zegler, Disney, and the crumbling empire surrounding them.
Yeah, because there's nothing more effective than 19-year-olds educating the rest of the voting public while yelling, "Okay, boomer."
Weird, weird. The timing couldn't be worse for Zegler, who is still reeling from the merciless critiques in South Park's Panderverse special and the savage jabs from The Simpsons. Now she finds herself roasted yet again, this time by Family Guy's signature brand of loud, chaotic humor.
Regardless of the consequences to everybody else.
She has created a lot of publicity for Disney, and
Insiders in the animation world suggest that the writers have no intention of slowing down. If anything, they feel emboldened by the wave of audience support that greeted their latest shots at Disney's Snow White disaster. In one of the most talked about scenes, Family Guy mocked Disney's recent struggles with brutal precision.
Reality is that the cartoon was made 85 years ago. It's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power.
A Disneyland roller coaster labeled Disney Stock plummets into the abyss while Peter Griffin looks on baffled. Another gag perfectly captures the cultural whiplash. Peter, confused about character identities, shouts, "What is everything?"
Thank you, Rachel.
She's not going to be dreaming about true love.
This line exploded into a viral meme within hours, and Zegler, without even being named directly, became the living embodiment of everything that audiences have criticized. Sources close to the production claim that the Family Guy team sees the backlash against Zegler not as something to avoid, but as proof they've hit the target.
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows?
The movie is performing catastrophically, and they believe they are channeling the frustrations of a massive segment of the audience that feels unheard in Hollywood media. This frustration, exhaustion, and anger at constant reboots and lectures disguised as entertainment have only intensified.
I think this girl does not deserve a feature-length film, but rather...
It wasn't supposed to be this way. Ziegler's career was built for a fairy tale ending. Handpicked by Steven Spielberg and praised for her breakout performance in West Side Story, she was chosen to star in Disney's live-action Snow White.
She deserves to be in a padded cell.
Everything pointed toward her becoming Hollywood's next unstoppable A-lister, inspiring millions of girls to believe in their dreams. But somewhere between the press tours, interviews, and mounting cultural backlash,
the movie is doing catastrophically.
That dream twisted into a very public nightmare. Now insiders say Zegler has become something far harsher than just a movie star. She has become a symbol of everything audiences feel is wrong with modern Hollywood. This transformation didn't happen overnight. Initially, it was small things.
Millions of girls will grow up thinking that this is the right way to act.
Awkward comments about how the 1937 Snow White was weird, how the prince was a stalker, and how her version would focus on leadership and self-empowerment instead of love. These were sound bites that might have passed unnoticed in another era, but in today's media ecosystem, already primed for outrage over endless reboots and forced moral lectures,
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
The clips caught fire. TikTok users stitched them into viral memes, and YouTube critics dissected every word. Fans who once eagerly lined up for Disney Magic began asking a much harder question. Do they even like the stories they're remaking anymore? Zegler, who has been labeled extraordinarily woke, has inadvertently awakened a wave of derangement.
Put another gay diverse woman in it. Make it more
She quickly found herself at the center of a cultural storm, not because she caused it, but because she became its face. A talented actress caught in a perfect storm of bad timing, corporate overreach, and exhausted audiences tired of being scolded instead of entertained. When the box office numbers for Snow White came in flatter than anyone at Disney dared to predict, the narrative hardened.
So Snow White slept and waited for her prince to come, but he never did.
Insiders say executives scrambled to find excuses: bad marketing, shifting demographics, political polarization. But for many fans, the answer was simple. They didn't recognize the story anymore, and they didn't feel welcome in theaters either. Enter the satirists. South Park saw the cultural wound and plunged the knife in, while The Simpsons twisted it even deeper.
Cry me a river. I deserve to be paid for every single hour I am in the outfit of Snow White.
Now with Family Guy. Making it clear they're not backing down, the humiliation keeps multiplying. It's not that Zegler personally destroyed Disney's magic. Rather, in the eyes of millions, she has come to represent the moment it slipped away. When Family Guy decided to take aim at Disney's Snow White disaster, they unleashed a full comedy blitzkrieg. Insiders close to the animation world report that Disney executives were blindsided by how precise and devastating the mockery turned out to be.
We walk around in dresses, and we don't get paid for it.
Snow White had already been struggling with fan skepticism, but after South Park aired, that skepticism hardened into mockery. People weren't just annoyed at the remake. They were laughing at it, laughing at Zegler, laughing at Disney. Family Guy, always attuned to the pulse of pop culture, allegedly saw that reaction and realized there was blood in the water. By the time they dropped their Disneyland stock crash gag and the "What is everything?"
This isn't the chum bucket.
meltdown, the audience was already primed to see it not as cruel, but as cathartic, the punchline to a joke they had felt building for years. Now, with Family Guy, reportedly showing no remorse and South Park already having dropped the first nuke, insiders wonder if there's anyone left at Disney brave enough to say what the audience is clearly screaming. If South Park's satire and Family Guy's mockery didn't make things clear enough, a real-world moment sealed Disney's humiliation even further.
To everyone who hates when I win,
I hope it's off the woke we go.
It didn't come from an angry YouTuber or a viral TikToker. It came from George Lucas himself, the creator of Star Wars, the man whose stories once defined Disney's future. During a public panel discussion, Lucas was asked about Disney's handling of Star Wars after he sold his beloved franchise to them for billions. Smiling slightly, Lucas made a passing remark about how things had changed and how certain decisions didn't exactly match his original vision.
The movie is doing catastrophically. They spent $300 million, and it currently has a 2.2 out of 10 rating on IMDb.
The audience laughed nervously at first, then harder when they realized Lucas wasn't being subtle. It wasn't a rage-filled takedown. It didn't need to be. The message was crystal clear. Even Lucas, who once trusted Disney to safeguard his galaxy far, far away, couldn't help but acknowledge the disappointment. That disappointment wasn't just about Star Wars anymore. It symbolized everything happening across the company, from Marvel's creative stumbles to the endless parade of live-action remakes that felt more like cash grabs than love letters. For Disney executives already scrambling to control the Snow White backlash, Lucas's little jab was a brutal reminder of what they had lost. Not just fans, not just box office supremacy, but trust, cultural credibility, and the sense that when Disney announced a new project, it was something you could believe in. The awkward laughter at the panel, caught on dozens of phones and quickly stitched into viral TikToks, spread faster than any official Disney trailer. For Zegler, it was another subtle yet devastating shift in the narrative. She wasn't just facing backlash from fans upset about a single movie. She was starring in a disaster that had become symbolic of a much larger rot inside the castle. When even the architects of Disney's greatest successes can't hide their disappointment anymore, it's not just a bad PR month. It's a cultural collapse unfolding in real time. Some in the Mouse House are questioning whether it's wise to gamble $500 million on a property already facing backlash before production even begins. Others argue it's too late to course correct without causing an even bigger PR disaster. Either way, insiders say the Tangled project is now burdened with enormous additional weight, not just living up to the legacy of a beloved animated classic, but overcoming a cultural climate where Zegler's involvement is seen by many as a giant red flag. The movie is doing catastrophically. They spent $300 million, and it currently has a 2.2 out of 10 rating on IMDb. One thing is clear. After Snow White crashed and burned, audiences aren't just skeptical. They're ready for a fight. If Disney thought the backlash was bad before, Tangled might turn out to be an even bigger battlefield. Behind the memes, behind the empty theaters, and behind even the viral jokes, insiders say a deeper resentment has been simmering, and it finally exploded with Disney's Snow White remake. For many longtime Disney fans, Zegler wasn't just caught in a bad PR storm. She became the face of a bigger frustration: Hollywood's obsession with identity politics over storytelling. Disney insiders whisper that the warning is even sharper. They're losing the room. When even your own properties, your own house brands, start throwing punches, it's no longer about haters or reactionaries. It's about a cultural empire losing the trust and affection of the very audience that built it. The final roast isn't about politics. It's not even about box office numbers anymore. It's about legitimacy, trust, magic, and whether Disney can ever get it back. As the dust settles, the question remains: can Disney still win audiences back after this avalanche of roasts? Or has the magic finally slipped through their fingers for good? And what about Rachel Zegler? Can she ever reclaim her story? Or has pop culture already closed the book on her? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. Hit like if you're ready for more truth bombs about Hollywood's biggest meltdowns. And don't forget to subscribe, because when you're ready to hear what they really don't want you to know, the next video is already waiting for you.